Clap. Hey, everybody, this is Donna Cruz. I'm the CEO of Savvy Technologies, and joining me today is John Gonzalez with Wireless Watchdogs. John is a director of mobility services for Wireless Watchdogs and a colleague and friend for many years. Thanks for being here, John.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
So, John and I are doing a series on managed mobility services, and we're going to do a deeper dive today into mobility management, this one specific pillar of managed mobility services. So, mobility management, definition-wise, we're going to focus on how businesses keep track of devices, policies, and daily operations in mobility. So, John, first question. What is mobility management in your definition, and how does it differ from just managing phones?
Sure. So mobility management means pretty much managing everything around mobile devices. Okay. Anything that's showing up on your carrier bills, call it Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile. Um, it also involves, okay, not just managing the phones, but it really involves policy. A policy is a rule book around a well-managed mobility program. Unfortunately, if there's no policy, the only winners become the carriers. And since these are little mini computers nowadays, we have to make sure that there's policies on appropriate use, how the devices get used from a security standpoint. There's applications, there's data, there's security. So it's not just phones themselves, it's about the entire life cycle, right? From ordering the equipment, okay, to provisioning the equipment, to adding the security, to the expense management, to the reporting and analytics to show who's doing what, where, when, and how with these devices, helping finance allocate cost, right? So every division pays their fair share.
Mm.
Recycling devices, so getting rid of the old devices, making sure that disposed of in an eco-friendly manner, and unlimited support. So now you have a whole team that knows your processes, knows the ins and outs of the carriers. So that is what a true mobility management company does than just somebody just managing your phones and rate plans.
Yeah, it's a lot more. Thank you.
Yep.
Talk to me about at Wireless Watchdogs how you help customers keep track of every mobile device everywhere.
Sure. So we have tools, we have proprietary software that actually extracts all the data and information directly from the carriers. So the device, when it's in, is it in contract? Is it out of contract? Is it on a device payment program? What's the status? Is it an old device? Does it need to be upgraded? Is it a user, the locations? So nothing gets lost or forgotten when you have us tracking those devices from an inventory standpoint because it's very, very important. And I'm gonna nail this. I know the last session we had security, but we really need to make sure that all these unused devices, okay, because every time we run into a session for a company, we see unused devices that have been sitting there for months and nobody's home, right? And that not only is it a security risk, but most of the time companies don't know where they're at, right? They're like, we have no idea. This person hasn't worked with us for 3 years, or hey, I hope it's in a drawer. No, it's not. Like, so there's a lot of things that we help customers track from an accountability standpoint because these are entry points where cyber incidents can happen. And if they're not locked down correctly, that can cost the company a tremendous amount of money.
I've heard some things recently, and we'll talk more about this in the mobile device security section, but around cyber insurance, right?
Yep.
And companies needing to be able to demonstrate that not only that they have a mobility policy, but that they're enforcing it,
Mhm.
or that can be a risk for their cyber insurance. So what is one surprising way that poor mobility management kills productivity?
Well, let's go to the overstretched IT department. Okay, they're doing an amazing job. They're trying to keep the network up and running, right? Making sure computers are working. And they come and they drop managing mobile devices. Okay. They're wasting time. So think of this. Let's paint a picture. Here's Tom. Here comes Bob. Hey, my phone's not working. He's in the middle of a project trying to get, project done for the IT manager. And here comes Bob. Hey, my phone doesn't work. It's not sliding to the left. Well, hey, I just got this new device. Can you walk me through how to use it? Now, the IT person needs to get pulled away from what they're doing between chit chat and calling the carrier. Okay, there goes about an hour, hour and a half, right? They're wasting time on all the fixes, logins, replacements, right, of the devices, um, refreshments. So if are they due for an upgrade, setup, um, and making sure that the devices are locked down securely is really what needs to be done. And most of the time, it's okay, order a device. Okay, the device is in, give it to this person, and then where is it going? Who's getting billed for it? What cost center, right? And what name is it under? A lot of times when we run these assessments, you'll see everybody that says Tom Jones. 100% Tom Jones. Well, it's because he's the POC. But from an accountability standpoint, how do you know who has the
Yeah.
data, right? So there's a lot of surprising ways, but most of the time it's productivity because it's an overstretched IT department that's trying to, you know, keep the business running, trying to innovate, and here they come dropping mobile devices that's going to continue to get smarter and more uh, complicated, when it comes to managing not only the cost but the security around it.
Yeah, and I'll give a recent example. So, my carrier upgraded this little device, and I depend on this, right? I use this to run my business.
Oh,
And when they upgraded the iOS, some things changed, and all of a sudden, like my calendar wasn't syncing with Outlook and this and that. I am not kidding you. I spent an hour on the phone with my IT support organization that I use at Savvy, and I thought, every person that they support that has an iPhone is doing the same thing, right? And that's on top of all the other things that they manage for folks, right? Desktop upgrades and application refreshes and da 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 da. And I thought, man, they're just getting crushed. I mean, that's what happens to me, right? Is because to me, nothing's more critical than that this be working, right? But me times 100 people or 300 people or 500 people kind of in an average mid-enterprise organization, that's a lot of time that your organization's help desk or whatever is going to spend
absolutely.
now.
Absolutely.
So why should, and then maybe we've already answered this, but let's talk about why IT teams should care less about device admin and more about strategic work.
Well, I mean, device admin, it's frustrating. It's one of those to where, I mean, I always just put one picture up there with the whole IT team, like pulling their hair out with phones because it's overwhelming, right? To even call the carriers, right? And get any kind of support, it takes way too much time and it takes away from their strategic work, their initiatives, right? So updating phones, changing plans, those are repetitive, right? They should be focused on the big projects that move the business forward.
Hmm. And yet we've seen, right, like, all of my customers, I would say everybody's like looking for budget, right? Maybe they want to do some sort of an AI pilot, in their contact center or something. And and so they want to spend time on that, and they also want to find money for it. Well, whereas over here they could be wasting easily, $5,000 to $10,000 a month, and without changing a thing, just optimizing what they have, right? They could find that money and go, oh, well, now we can put it over here for something else. Okay, so last question. What's a quick tip for a company that is drowning in roaming charges and lost devices?
Okay, so roaming charges has kind of gone away a little bit. That's back in the days when you used to roam and if you only had a certain plan and you roamed to Kansas, you got roaming charges. Most of that has already gone away. But as far as giving you kind of a quick tip, or whoever's listening here, start by auditing all your devices and plans. There's companies out there similar to ours that will run a complimentary assessment without obligation or commitment to find out what you have, right? Who's using it, right? Is there a way to cut costs without switching anything? So it's a good check and balance for you to get out there and take advantage. It's about a 5 to 7 minute process to download these bills and get it over to Dawn and the team. She has her, a couple of different suppliers that can help and start there, right? Start and know where you're at. If anything, it's going to be a good check and balance for you. Even if you don't move forward, at least you know kind of where you stand. But that's my tip is really take a look at what you have from experts. And that way you can take that information and say, you know what? All right, Nick, this makes total sense. Maybe we should be using a third party, right? So that's my tip.
Good tip. Well, thank you, John. Appreciate you spending the time talking about mobility management. Our next topic will be expense management, and appreciate the time.
Thank you.